Hey, everybody. Welcome into Star Wars Republic, our show about all things Star Wars here on the Arena Productions. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. So, Burley and Carl, you ready to talk about Andor episodes? In this episode, we're going to combine episodes 8 and 9 and do our breakdown and discussion of them. So, you guys ready to go? Yeah.
Ready to talk about the best Star Wars TV show ever made, and
okay, yeah, that's opinion by a lot of people now.
The hopefully Emmy Award nominated and maybe winning show.
Yeah, maybe. So before we move forward, just want to let everybody know that's that's new to the Arena Productions, and of course this also goes to our Patreon ad free. This is a spoiler-filled episode of episodes 8 and 9 of Andor. So if you have not watched episodes 8 and 9 of Andor, please go and watch those episodes before you come back and enjoy our breakdown and discussion video here. So with that said, that's your spoiler warning. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Narkina 5, guys. Narkina 5. So obviously Andor, at the end of episode 7, he was arrested for basically just being a tourist. And he's sent
just for looking suspicious.
Yeah. And so he gets sent to Narkina 5, and he gets sent to this prison facility. And what's interesting about it is nobody wears shoes because obviously the floors are electronically, I guess the security guards have like some remote control things that set off an electric charge on the floor. And then, of course, when they're sleeping and all, obviously, the floors are white and then they turn red, which means it'll burn the hell out of anybody that's standing on them. And so in this image here, obviously, Andor, he's begun to work with this group of prisoners here and putting together pieces and bits of machinery for the Imperial machine, the war machine. So what did you guys think of the beginning of this? In this prison facility, which, as we see throughout episode 8 and into 9, it's a vast facility. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this is the kind of thing, like the inner workings of the Star Wars universe and the Empire, and like understanding how this might work. And it's great to see that, like, oh yeah, like of course they just like throw people in slave labor on arbitrary charges and make them make all these parts and components that they need to make their, like, planet-sized ships. Well, they're not planet-sized, but you know what I mean? Like these ginormous, huge just Star Destroyers and whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, this is, and then just the way the setup of the prison is again, it's just elaborate and interesting, and I love that everything.
Yeah, and it's like, it's interesting how it's like when Andor first arrives, they get a little bit of a taste of what is expected of them and what happens to them if they don't obey. And boy, they got the little shock treatment there. And so we find out
this
right
is level 1, right, or something like that.
Yeah, this is level 1, man, but it seemed like level 5 or 6, But it's like that's the reason why they didn't have their shoes on. So it's like as soon as they, were on that transport ship, they're like, take your shoes off. I'm like, okay. Why do they have to do that? But then they get there and we find out pretty quickly. Yeah, why. But Burley, what did you think of the prison facility?
I love this. This is actually like really smart on the Empire. And it's just no, it is like
of this.
Yeah, I know. It's like Burley is like pro Empire.
The Empire was right. No, it's just like, why take all these people, just throw them in a prison somewhere, right? We can have them feeding us and making weapons for us. We're not paying for them for labor. We just have them making stuff for us. And it's just like, anyone that, you think you're going to commit a crime and you're going to get against the Empire, guess what? You're doing stuff for the Empire or you're dead. So it's a really kind of just like a win-win for the Empire.
Yeah. Is it this episode where they had the line that they say, like, and it was good to throw in that it's cheaper than droids, essentially. Like, human labor.
So. Yeah, it was in episode 8.
yeah, it less material and less energy to use humans like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just again, this show is just so amazing with set designs and props.
Yeah.
Like just the
it's
thing
really
that they're building, the random part that they're building. I'm like, it just looks great. It just looks like a real interesting physical prop that they're working on. They're constantly having to work with. And then the sets of just like the prison itself, like the cells that they're in, like just
the tubes that they're using to get nourishment and everything.
Yeah, and the sort of like staggered, like individual cells with no walls, because again, the thing is just the floor. You can't step on the floor, so they don't need to have walls or bars or anything. It's just amazing. This show like if this show is not nominated for like costume design and set design and stuff like that, technical awards, like that's nonsense. And of course, the acting and the writing I think is fantastic too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. And then I want to get kind of later in the episode, we get of course, Saw Gerrera here, and the conversation they're having about parts and everything else and everything, and it just seems like Saw Gerrera, man, he's a renegade and he has his own ways of doing things. What did you think of the back and forth between the two in this scene here? Of course, we get our first scene of Saw Gerrera. Obviously, he was in Rogue One, and he's in the animated series as well. But what did you think of their back and forth?
I love this. In episode 8, this was probably my favorite moment in the whole episode. It was nice to see Forrest Whitaker back in the role, and just the banter and dialogue between them going back and forth at each other. I just loved it. And he's trying so hard just to talk and meet with him. We'll give you the weapons. And he's like, no. How much for the weapons? No, I'll give them to you free. No, I just want to pay you. He's like, and then just them taking shots at each other about how they do things. I love that.
Yeah. Carl, what did you think of their back and forth?
It's interesting that he's I forgot the other character's name.
Luthen.
Yeah. He's very much trying to trying to get him to understand, like, we need to come together, we need to organize.
Yeah, as like an alliance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, the rebels need to become the rebels, right? They're not just is this the scene I think where he points out that like each of them have different names, like whatever, separatists, dissidents, whatever, all these different random groups, and Saw Gerrera is very much of the ilk of like, I don't care, like I hate the Empire and I'm gonna mess with them, but like we're gonna do what we need to do for ourselves to survive, to live our lives. Mm-hmm. He's not all in on like for the greater good of everyone and trying to really end the Empire. And maybe we'll see him hopefully maybe into season 2. I could see him getting more involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. And of course we get the ISB, and obviously the ISB is, they're clamping down on everything, and the investigations into Cassian and into Luthen and everybody. It starts to ramp up, and obviously we get the interrogation of Bix in episode 9, and boy, oh boy, she gets the treatment, and has to put on that headset and hear all of the screams from all of those, planet villagers that they were executed and tortured as their planet was being taken over. Yeah. So
wasn't it I thought it was some creature thing he was saying they recorded some
creatures from the planet that they were taking over. Yeah. So or
they said like this creature makes this sound that like
when they're being tortured and killed,
that does something to your mind. No, I don't
something like that. I don't. Yeah. So,
but again, it's just an interesting way of doing a torture scene in a science fiction-y. We don't need to like do a gore type situation. Like we're not gonna like mutilate you or do like physical harm, right? Like it's just a good setup for that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Burley, what did you think of the the scene with Bix here and the
Oh,
ISB agents.
I love that, and I loved she at first seeing like, oh, I'm gonna do this stuff here first and just talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you tell me everything, or else the doctor here is going to torture you. But I know you're not going to say anything, so you're pretty much screwed here. You're just going to give me what I want anyways, because you're just going to get tortured.
Mm-hmm.
and I love the banter between the two of them going back and forth. And it's like, okay, I tried. You're getting tortured now. Doctor, do what you want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's like, oh my God. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then of course we get to our friend here that's been hanging out with his mom and everything, and he said he got a promotion at the facility he started working at and all, but he just keeps hanging out near the ISB facility. Yeah.
No, I see. I love this character, both her more than him, but I think it's what's so great about her character is that like we're getting to see an inner working of the Empire. We're seeing their side of it, how like someone who is in that type of position, right? Position of power, authority.
I think her name is Meero. Meero is her name, I think. Yeah.
In the Empire is like this is their job, right? They believe in it. They're doing everything. They're not. It's like she doesn't seem to be doing anything just because for the sake of being evil, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just this is the Empire's machine, and like she's part of that, and we're she's trying to just succeed and do a good job and find these rebels and stop them. Like, and obviously, I don't know, like if is it gonna be any sort of with these two, like, will there be any sort of like turn of them realizing like, what we're doing is pretty awful? Like maybe not. Maybe we're not gonna see that at all.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like this guy is like he's very much like like I am the Empire, right? Like I want to be this. He seems more. I don't know. He's like, I do wonder, like, if is he gonna go harder? Is he gonna be more evil, or will he
more hardcore? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where's this guy gonna go?
I don't know, man. But he at the moment he seems like a dweeb that's just stalking her, in her mind at least, So.
Yeah. I mean, he's smart, and he clued into like the idea of like Andor is he represents something like that the Empire needs to stop.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people in the Empire, and it's been a big point of the show, it likes to point out that like the Empire just doesn't care enough. Like they're just so powerful and oppressive that they like kind of ignore a lot of things.
Right. And I want to get to this one image here, of course. And Carl, you were talking about the set designs and everything, and just of course the Senate chamber here from obviously from the prequel films, but I mean obviously they cleaned up everything since episode 3. But from the fight between Palpatine, of course, Darth Sidious, and Yoda, obviously chucking all those discs, that all the senators stand in, and But I mean, just the set design is amazing in this series, and it's interesting how the lights turn off on the particular disc platforms there when some senators don't agree with what you're talking about or whatever, and of course you see Mon Mothma discussing certain things going on within the the quadrant, and you see just some of them not even paying attention, and they're like turning off the lights and everything and taking off. Yeah. What'd you guys think of this area and this set design part?
Yeah, the set design, like you guys have said, it's great, and just I do like you just see Mon Mothma. She's trying, but you see every other like people on their little platforms there. The Senate, they're just walking out. They're like, she's going off and on this again.
Yeah, I was waiting to see E.T. in one of those.
Yeah, I can do that.
I wouldn't be surprised if any of the dialogue is like, okay, she's going off again. Anyone want to go? I'll buy a round. Anyone want to go to the bar? Let's get a round. Blue milk, beer, whatever.
Well,
it is a. I don't know that they're not really talking about it, but like, are these people? Are they checking out not because they don't believe in there, just because they know like we don't want to talk like this. We don't want to act like we support this because
right.
Again, you can't fight the Empire. Like it's I'm confused as to like what is the structure of this right now, because it was episode 3, right, which was obviously prior to this, where Palpatine was like made basically the Emperor, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they mention him as the Emperor, you know.
Like they give him like some sort of power, right? They vote for something where they give him like
some kind of power.
They evoked, wasn't it the emergency act at the end of the second episode? Episode 2, and then episode 3, they wanted him to give it back, but he was, no, I don't want to give the power back because you gave me all the power because you guys are idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And then did nobody like? Was there no surveillance cameras? Nobody was like, "Hey, who made a mess in this room?" Oh, look, it was Palpatine. Oh,
yeah.
The Force works in mysterious ways and edit tapes.
Yeah. Well, you know what I thought was also interesting in this episode, of course, with Mon Mothma, of course, Vel. She is the cousin of Mon Mothma. That was kind of a surprise in a sense, but she comes in, with Mon Mothma, and of course, the daughter, she's, I can't stand her, and everything about her father and everything. And father lets me do whatever I want, But anyway, they're talking about what's going on here, and I don't know. What did you guys? Were you surprised at Vel being related to Mon Mothma?
Yeah, I was surprised, and it answers is a question that I had, or not a question, but like something I wanted to see in a good way of like, where does she come from? Why is she in this? Mm-hmm. And I like that she's like, even Mothma tells her like, just go be a rich girl for a little while, like, so people think, remember who you are, and that explains why she was acting the way she was when she was doing the mission. Like she was unsure if she wanted to go into this, to like fully commit to this.
Right.
And she clearly didn't really have all that much experience, but she has the sort of wealth, right, and the position to like do something about it.
Yeah.
So I love this aspect I love all the stuff with them, Mon Mothma, and now her in this situation where they're like, them sort of like, this is the beginning of the rebels. Like, but this is like the sort of organizational side, or like the and
with the other character too, with Mon Mothma, like the childhood friend, I think it is, who, is trying to move money around from accounts to accounts, and they have to be really careful of how they move this money around because it could be monitored and everything. So I like how they bring that up and how they discuss it. So.
Yeah, it's all really intriguing, great, interesting aspects and details to, like how the rebellion became what it is. Like, how did you get to the point where you were actually trying to stop the Empire?
Yeah. Yeah. At what point does Mon Mothma have to, get out of town and get out of Coruscant, because obviously someone's going to figure out what she's doing, down the line.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if that'll happen at the end of the season, or will this stuff continue?
I think it'll be beginning of next season. But I did like this, her coming in and just like the family moments, and just like her husband and daughter. The husband, I hope he just gets shot. The daughter, it's probably not a good idea for me to wish to see that. Yeah. The daughter's just like, the daughter needs to be. I love that, because like Mon Mothma's like, oh, your father wouldn't approve of you wearing that dress. Father would let me do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I'm just waiting for Mon Mothma to just say, okay, do whatever you want. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But I love the when they're sitting there, they're eating dinner, and her husband is just being a complete ass, being like, still not married.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You don't have this. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I want to bring this up, and Burley, I mentioned this to you earlier, when it comes to Vel. in one of the previous episodes, Vel met up with Luthen's assistant in the antique shop, and her name is Clea, right?
Is it?
Now, yeah, but do you think that's actually Princess Leia in disguise?
How would that? I mean,
Yeah,
no.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
it's a possibility, but the thing is,
She looks like Leia.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Leia's also supposed to be out there for speeches and all that.
Who
All
knows? She
that.
could be. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe it's a
Yeah,
front.
I don't know.
Because in that episode, she goes up to Vel there. You know, she meets her secretly out there and says, "You need to take out Cassian Andor." You know,
Yeah.
because he knows he's getting to know too much about what's going on. I don't know. I mean, we shall find out. I mean, later on, but yeah, it's just it's a rumor
Yeah, I
going
don't.
around out there that Clea might actually be Leia. Yeah,
I don't feel like they would do that.
you
It
never
seems a
know,
bit
man. Who knows?
too much. I mean, and that would just be a
Uh,
recast, right? It would be them saying like, we're just gonna finally we're gonna recast this character.
Yeah, or she could be in disguise. Who knows? But anyway, so and then of course we go back to the prison facility, obviously, and good old Andy Serkis. He is the supervisor there, and he only has like 217 shifts left until he gets out. And of course, Andor is starting to get under his skin. You know, basically, Andor is like giving him crap about why aren't you trying to break out? And Andy Serkis's character is basically like, just shut up and do your job. But then of course we get towards the end of the episode, and the old guy, he just conks out. He has a major, massive stroke. And then they find out about what happened on one of the lower deck facility areas, where basically
Shift 2.
shift 2, exactly, where that shift, there were some people that were supposed to get out. They had finished all their shifts and they were supposed to leave, but then they shut it all down and then they killed them all.
Well, didn't they
Yeah.
say that what happened was there's some people that got at, that left, right? Or was maybe just one guy?
One
And then
guy was on
he showed
shift
up
4.
on another shift. Yeah.
Instead of
like-
instead of releasing him, they put him to level 2 because the Empire's not stupid. They don't want to get rid of a good worker.
Yeah,
So
so
they put
they made everyone think that, oh yeah, he's going free, and then they put him on a level because nobody's really communicating between levels other than their like sign language thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't, they obviously are not really thinking about that. That's what's going on, that these people
And
are communicating, and then shit went down.
Well, he had raised a stink because he's like, "What? You told me I'm free. You're putting me back to work again here. What? This is a mistake." And they were like, "Okay, we can't just kill him. We got to kill everyone here because everyone here is going to riot." So they killed them all. And I do like the dynamic of Andor, or Kif, because that's the name he goes in while he's in here, because he's smart enough to realize, don't give your real name.
Right.
He's going to Andy Serkis's character, and Andy Serkis's character you can understand because he's been doing this for a while. He is a manager, and he's just like, you know what? I got 200 something shifts left. Then I'm out. I just got to keep working. And I can understand that because that's what you got to do to tell yourself to survive that kind of thing and go through all that. Yeah. He's so close to being done. And then when he realized, because he's like, he tries to help the guy that had them at, I think it was Oaf or something like that is his name. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, no. He's a good worker. He's close to being done. We just need him to be, we just need him back and up and working. And he's like, no, he has a massive stroke. We're not going to fix him. This is better. And then they learned out, then they find out, you're never going free. And you can see the thing between Cassian and Andy Serkis being like, okay, we now need to get a jailbreak going.
Because he asked him at the very end there, he's like, how many prison guards are there on this particular level? Yeah.
12.
Never more than 12. Yeah. I love that. That line at the end hits so hard. Yeah. Because of how well they set it up. previously, like, Andor pushing him and asking him for information. He's like, what do you know? Because Andor again doesn't believe that this is ever going to get better. He doesn't. He's like, as he keeps saying, like, nobody's listening. No one's listening. No one cares.
That's right.
And as he's always been said, like previously, the reason he's been able to sort of like get over the Empire is because he knows, like, they don't care. They just don't care. We're ants to them. They don't think about us. That's how we get around them. But we can do things because they just think we're garbage and trash and worthless, and they're not going. So they're never going to care. And man, that was
nobody's listening on Narkina 5.
So man, I was just to have that turn for Andy Serkis' character, to him to be just like, yep, like just that acknowledgement, just him answering that question is his acknowledgement, like, yep, we're doing this,
Yep, I'm listening now.
Yeah,
good stuff. So so that's been our breakdown and discussion of episodes 8 and 9. So we're looking forward to episode 10 coming out this coming Wednesday. So of course we'll be bringing you another breakdown discussion episode here on Star Wars Republic of Andor. So it's been an excellent season so far. We're looking forward to these climactic episodes that are coming up. So so we're looking forward to bringing that to you. And of course, all of our other shows here on the Arena Productions. We hope you come and watch them, and let us know in the comments what you thought of episodes 8 and 9. What do you think the jailbreak scenario is going to be moving forward on Narkina 5? Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen, as the series progresses. So anyway, I've been your host, Expat. Yep. You want to say something? Go ahead.
I was gonna make a joke. A bunch of Jedis are gonna show up, and lightsabers are gonna flash, and force powers are gonna be pushed around.
Oh God, no! No.
Ezra Bridger is gonna show up, and he's gonna get everybody out. So but anyway, probably no Jedis in this series, and that's kind of what the good part about this series is. We don't have any of the Force stuff. We don't have any of the Jedi stuff. Just the inner workings of the Empire and the forming of the Rebel Alliance, which is really cool to see. So,
I mean, they're proving that this is a very interesting world outside of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
what they're many really different worlds. Mm-hmm.
And what they're really doing is almost like a sort of like cyberpunk, like Blade Runner sort of esque type of show right now, because without any of that fantasy element of the Jedi stuff. But that's not to say I don't want a show with Jedis and Force powers in this tone, because I do.
Obviously. So, and I mean, there's going to be a show coming down the pipeline, I'm sure, that does that. And maybe we'll get and maybe we'll get something about the High Republic or something like that. That might be along those lines. We shall see. But anyway. So until our next episode of Star Wars Republic, when we do our breakdown and discussion of Andor episode 10, take care, and we hope to see you in the next episode. So take care, everyone. Peace out.